Financial crisis for nearly two-thirds of the American middle class, and a retail bloodbath is possible. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Megan Henney titled, "Nearly two-thirds of middle-class Americans say they are struggling financially, gasping for air." The author of this article referenced findings that were published by the National True Cost of Living Coalition, which revealed that 65% of Americans whose incomes are 200% above the national poverty line, which is about $62,300 for a family of four, said they are struggling financially. Well, my friends, I am not surprised to hear about this. Americans are being crushed by inflation. Everything in life has gotten more expensive in recent years. Many people have not seen their wages keep pace with inflation. Those who use debt to maintain their preferred standard of living have been impacted by higher interest rates as well. This is not a good situation for many American families. The author went on to say that 40% of Americans said they are unable to plan beyond their next paycheck, and 46% said they do not have $500 saved for emergencies. I'm going to share my thoughts about this. If 40% of people can't plan beyond their next paycheck, this means they are likely not planning for retirement. They are just winging it each day. I see this as a huge problem. However expensive life is today, it will likely be a lot more expensive in the future when these people reach retirement age. If you are struggling while working full-time, what is life going to be like when you reach an age where you can no longer work, but you don't have any retirement savings? Social Security is not going to be enough for most people. Social Security was never intended to replace your pre-retirement income. We are starting to see what happens in society when people reach old age with no retirement savings. I've read countless articles about older people living in their cars or living on the street, or living with family members because they can't afford to live on their own. It is truly tragic what is happening here in our country. I'm going to share my thoughts about the other statement the author made about 46% of people who don't have $500 saved for emergencies. In my opinion, $500 is not enough anyway. Have you been to a car dealer recently to get something replaced on your car, such as a starter or alternator or wheel bearing? If you have, it probably cost a lot more than $500. Have you been to the hospital for something unexpected? If you have, your out-of-pocket cost was probably a lot more than $500. Have you had a furnace or AC system go out in your home? If you have, multiply $500 by 10, and that's probably what it costs to replace if you're lucky. My point is, it's sad that 46% of people don't even have $500 saved for emergencies, which isn't enough anyway. People should have thousands of dollars set aside for emergencies, especially right now when CDs, money market funds, and U.S. Treasuries are paying in the 5% range or more. You can get a decent return on your emergency fund that is just sitting there. It is troubling to me that people are not taking this seriously. If I were in a situation where I didn't have $500 for emergencies, I would be freaking out. I'd cut out all non-essentials in my life to save money, and I would get a second job. Getting back to the article, the author referenced Jennifer Jones Austin, who is the CEO of the Federation of Protestant Welfare Agencies and co-chair of the National True Cost of Living Coalition. She said, and I'll quote, "The economy is booming, and yet many Americans are still gasping for air financially." She also said they simply don't have the breathing room to plan beyond their present needs. Here are my thoughts. I don't agree with her that the economy is booming. Our economy is propped up by debt, and many American consumers are tapped out financially. Many have reached a tipping point, and are struggling to maintain their standard of living in this new higher interest rate environment and during this period of high inflation. Now, this is not everyone. There are some people who are wealthier than ever. Inflation has benefited them as their assets have increased in value in recent years. I, for one, am tired of hearing the blanket statement that our economy is booming. People in the media need to qualify that statement by saying it is booming for some people while others are struggling financially more than ever. It reminds me of the movie that came out in 2011 starring Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried. This movie was called In Time. It is a science fiction movie where people die when they run out of time on a clock that is embedded in their arms. When they work, they earn time, which is added to the clock embedded in their arms. Inflation is crushing the working class in the movie. Justin Timberlake is given a large amount of time by a wealthy man, and he is able to travel to a different time zone where wealthy people live. Life there is so much different. Now, this is a fictional movie, but I think it was ahead of its time in many ways. It really does a good job representing what is happening here in America and around the world with the haves and the have-nots. If you've never seen that movie, you should really check it out. Getting back to the article, the author referenced Fox Business calculations, which revealed that grocery prices are up more than 21% from the start of 2021. Shelter costs are up 18.37%, and energy prices are up 38.4%. I am sure that a large number of Americans have not seen their wages increase anywhere near those percentages since 2021. Some employers talk a big game, but they aren't always generous when it comes down to dollars and cents for employees. What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another article today that casts doubt on the economy is booming narrative. I read an article on ZeroHedge.com written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled Retail Bloodbath. More than 2,600 store closings have been announced so far in 2024. According to the author, retail stores are being shut down at a staggering rate all over the country. If we stay on the pace that we are on, the total number of stores closed in 2024 will be nearly 40% higher than the total number of stores closed in 2023. Here are my thoughts. This is terrible news for those who own commercial real estate. Many are paying more for property taxes, insurance, and interest on their loans. Now, they may no longer have the same amount of income coming in to cover those costs because of what is happening with retail. I am really glad that I don't own any commercial real estate right now. I feel bad for those who are in a tough financial situation because of what is happening here in America. I have to wonder how financial institutions are going to handle the foreclosures that may ensue. Banks will likely see some huge losses. Vacant commercial properties aren't cheap to maintain until a new buyer or a new tenant can be secured. You have lawn maintenance, security, utilities, property taxes, and insurance. I spoke with the owner of a property management company recently. She told me about a very large commercial building that she was hired to manage. 2 investors bought it at an auction because they thought it could be flipped quickly for a profit. That didn't happen, and now they are struggling to find a buyer. They are also struggling to cover all of the costs until they can sell it. This property manager told me that just the lawn care and landscaping is astronomically expensive for this property. I'm sure these 2 guys are really regretting their purchase. Greed drove them to make a terrible financial decision. I hope they are able to get out from under this boat anchor. I'm curious, are there some large commercial properties vacant in your area? If so, what is going on with them? Tell me about them in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.